What if I told you that the worst season of your life isn't a punishment? It's a preparation. Most people believe that when life is about to reward them, everything should become easier. But reality tells a very different story. Before life gives you the opportunities you've prayed for, before the success you've worked so hard to achieve, before the peace you've been searching for, it often takes something away first. The people you trusted begin to disappear. The plans you carefully built fall apart. Doors unexpectedly close. You start questioning yourself, your purpose, and even whether all your effort has been worth it. It feels unfair. It feels lonely. And it feels as though life has forgotten you. But what if those moments aren't signs that you're failing? What if they're the very signs that you're changing? Hello everyone. Welcome to the Stoic Hypnosis channel. In this video, we'll explore the hidden patterns that appear just before life's greatest breakthroughs, why pain often arrives before purpose, why loss can become your greatest teacher, and why the season you're trying so desperately to escape may be the one preparing you for everything you've ever dreamed of. Stay with me until the end, because once you understand these signs, you'll never look at your struggles the same way again now. Let's get started. Part 1. Life always removes before it replaces. One of the hardest truths to accept is that life rarely gives you something new until it first makes room for it. Most people expect blessings to arrive as additions, but more often than not, they arrive as replacements. Before you find peace, life exposes everything that steals it. Before you discover your real purpose, life quietly dismantles the identity you've been hiding behind. And before you become stronger, life introduces you to a version of pain you've never known before. When I was younger, I thought every closed door was a sign that I had failed. Every rejection felt personal. Every disappointment seemed like proof that I wasn't good enough. But years later, I realized something that changed the way I looked at suffering. Life wasn't rejecting me. It was redirecting me. There is a reason forests become healthier after old trees fall. There is a reason a sculptor removes more stone than he keeps. Creation often begins with removal. The same is true for us. Sometimes life removes a relationship because you've outgrown the person you once needed. Sometimes it removes comfort because comfort has quietly become your prison. Sometimes it removes certainty because certainty is preventing you from discovering your true potential. In those moments, it feels as though everything is being taken away. You question your faith. You question your decisions. You wonder why nothing is working anymore. But perhaps nothing is working because you are no longer meant to live the life you are desperately trying to hold together. Growth is rarely comfortable. It asks you to let go before it allows you to receive. And that's why so many people give up too soon. They mistake the season of removal for the end of the story, when, in reality, it is only the beginning. So if life seems to be taking more than it is giving right now, don't rush to call it loss. Some things must leave your hands before something greater can finally find its way into them. Part 2. The silence is not empty, it's changing. There is a season in life that almost no one talks about. A season where nothing seems to happen. No breakthroughs, no recognition, no opportunities. Just silence. You keep working, yet no one notices. You keep believing, yet nothing changes. You keep waking up every morning, hoping today will finally be different. But it isn't. That silence can be terrifying. because the human mind naturally assumes that if nothing is happening, then nothing is growing. But nature teaches us the opposite. The seed spends a long time buried in darkness before it ever reaches the light. The bamboo tree develops an invisible root system for years before it suddenly rises higher than anyone expected. The greatest transformations often happen where no one can see them, including you. I remember a time when I thought my life had stopped moving. Friends were building successful careers. People around me were celebrating milestones. Everyone seemed to be moving forward except me. I questioned my abilities. I questioned my future. I even questioned whether all my effort meant anything at all. Looking back now, I realize that life wasn't withholding my future. It was strengthening the person who would eventually receive it. Because success given too early often destroys the very person who prayed for it. Without patience, success becomes arrogance. Without failure, achievement becomes fragile. Without loneliness, you never learn the difference between needing people and appreciating them. Sometimes life delays your blessing because your character is still catching up to your dream, and that delay is not rejection. It is protection. So if your life feels painfully quiet right now, don't mistake the silence for abandonment. Some of the most important chapters of your life are written long before anyone applauds your name. Keep showing up. Keep growing in private, because when your season finally arrives, people will call it luck. They will never see the years you spent becoming the person capable of carrying the life you once prayed for. Before we go any further, if this message feels like it was meant to find you today, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. This is more than a place for motivation. It's a place for those who refuse to give up, even when life is quiet, confusing, and painfully uncertain. Every video is here to remind you that your struggles are not meaningless. They are shaping the person you're becoming. If you're committed to growing stronger, wiser, and more resilient with every challenge life brings, subscribe now and become part of this journey. Now stay with me, because the next sign is the one that causes most people to give up, without realizing they were closer than ever to the life they had been waiting for. Part 3. Before life changes. It will test what you truly believe about yourself. There comes a moment before every meaningful transformation, when life asks a question that no one else can answer for you. Who are you when nothing is going your way? It's an easy question to ignore when everything is working, when people are applauding you, when opportunities keep appearing, when your efforts are rewarded. But real character is never revealed during comfort. It is revealed when nothing makes sense, when you've done everything you know how to do, and still the door remains closed. This is where most dreams quietly die. Not because people lack talent, not because they aren't intelligent, but because they begin to believe that temporary failure is a permanent identity. They stop saying, "This is a difficult season," and they start saying, "This is who I am." That small shift changes everything. Because the moment you believe your circumstances define your future, you stop looking for possibilities. You stop taking risks. You stop expecting life to surprise you. And little by little, you build invisible walls around your own potential. I learned that lesson after one of the darkest seasons of my life. Nothing was happening the way I had planned. The harder I worked, the more exhausted I became. I started wondering if life had simply chosen other people, if success belonged to them, and struggle belonged to me. But time revealed something I couldn't see then. Life wasn't testing my ability. It was testing my belief. Because talent can open a door, but only belief keeps you walking after the door stays closed. Anyone can keep moving when the path is clear. Very few people continue when they can no longer see where the road leads. That is why the strongest people are often the quietest. They are not driven by constant results. They are driven by conviction. They understand that every meaningful life is built twice, first in the mind, then in reality. So when life seems determined to shake your confidence, don't rush to rebuild your circumstances. Rebuild your perspective. Tell yourself, this moment is not here to break me. It is here to reveal the strength I haven't discovered yet. Because before life trusts you with greater opportunities, it often waits to see whether you will abandon yourself the moment the journey becomes difficult. And those who refuse to quit during the unseen battles are usually the ones the world calls overnight successes. Part 4. Sometimes life has to leave you alone before it can elevate you. There's a kind of loneliness that feels almost impossible to explain. Not because there are no people around you, but because no one truly understands the battle taking place inside you. You smile, you go to work, you continue doing what needs to be done. Yet every night you wonder if anyone would even notice how hard you're trying. That season is painful, but it is also sacred, because when life begins preparing you for something greater, it often reduces the number of voices you can depend on, not to punish you, but to teach you a lesson that success alone never could. There comes a point where advice is no longer enough. Encouragement is no longer enough. Even the people who love you cannot walk the path that was meant only for you. You must take those steps yourself. And at first, it feels unfair. You ask, why does everyone else seem to have someone beside them while I have to carry this weight alone? But years later, you'll understand something extraordinary. The loneliness was never your enemy. It was your teacher. Because solitude has a way of revealing who you are when there's no audience to impress, no expectations to satisfy, no applause to chase. It strips away every mask, every excuse, every false identity, until all that remains is you, and that can be terrifying. Yet it is also where genuine transformation begins. Some of the wisest people I have ever met were not shaped by comfort. They were shaped by long seasons where no one clapped for them, no one believed in them, no one understood their vision. But instead of becoming bitter, they became stronger. Instead of complaining about who had left, they focused on who they were becoming, because they discovered a truth that most people spend a lifetime avoiding. If your happiness depends on constant validation, then your peace will always belong to someone else. But when you learn to stand firmly in your own company, to enjoy your own thoughts, to trust your own direction, you become impossible to shake. That is why life sometimes removes the crowd before it reveals your calling. It wants you to build confidence that isn't borrowed from praise, strength that isn't borrowed from support, faith that doesn't disappear when everyone else walks away. So if you find yourself walking through a season where the road feels unusually quiet, don't assume you've been forgotten. Perhaps life has simply lowered the noise, so you can finally hear the voice you've been ignoring all along. The voice that has been whispering for years. You are becoming the person you've been praying to become. And perhaps that has been the miracle all along. Part 5. One day, you'll understand why none of it happened sooner. If life has been difficult lately, don't rush to believe that it is working against you. There are seasons that only make sense after you've survived them. While you're living through them, all you can see is the loss, the uncertainty, the waiting, the loneliness. But when you finally reach the other side, you begin connecting the pieces that once looked completely unrelated. You realize that the opportunity you wanted years ago would have destroyed the person you were back then. The relationship you cried over had been preventing you from becoming who you needed to become. The rejection that broke your heart quietly redirected your future. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. Life was preparing your hands before placing something valuable into them, because receiving a blessing is one thing. Being able to keep it is something entirely different. Many people pray for success. Very few prepare for the responsibility that comes with it. Many ask for abundance. Few develop the wisdom not to lose themselves once it arrives. And that is why life so often works in silence. It shapes your patience before your promotion, your humility before your influence, your character before your recognition. The greatest gift life can ever give you is not wealth or status or admiration. It is becoming the kind of person who remains grounded after receiving all three. The transformation cannot be rushed. It must be earned through moments no one applauds, through battles no one sees, through tears no one knows about. So if you're standing at a season where everything feels uncertain, take one more step. If you're carrying a burden that no one else understands, take one more step. If you feel like giving up because nothing seems to be changing, take one more step. Not because tomorrow is guaranteed to be easier, but because every meaningful journey asks for faith before it offers proof. Trust that the delays are shaping you. Trust that the silence is teaching you. Trust that the losses are making room for something your current life cannot yet contain. And when the day finally comes that everything you've been waiting for begins to unfold, you won't simply celebrate what you received, you will quietly smile. Because you'll understand that the greatest miracle was never the blessing itself. It was the person you had to become in order to receive it. That is why, before life gives you everything, it first teaches you how to live with nothing. And once you learn that lesson, nothing can ever truly take your peace away again. Conclusion. One day, you'll stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" Instead, you'll ask a far more powerful question. What is this season trying to teach me? And that single shift in perspective will change everything. Because life isn't delaying your future to punish you. It's preparing you to carry it. It's that you do. The deepest lesson is this. Before asking life for more, become someone who can protect, appreciate, and wisely use what you're praying for. This week, instead of complaining about what hasn't happened yet, ask yourself one honest question. What quality is life trying to build inside me today? Maybe it's patience. Maybe it's courage. Maybe it's discipline. Or maybe it's the strength to keep moving when no one else believes in you. Whatever your answer is, start working on that one quality every single day. Because the life you've been dreaming about is not built in one extraordinary moment. It is built through ordinary days when you choose not to give up. If this message gave you hope or helped you see your struggles in a new light, subscribe to the channel and join a community of people committed to growing stronger, wiser, and more resilient every day. Your support allows us to keep creating meaningful videos that inspire, challenge, and encourage people around the world. Thank you for taking the time to watch until the end of the video. See you in the next videos.